Hey there people, no picking on this video today, but some very cool elevator stuff sent by DN Hunziker, you freaking legend. So, without dicking around, let's get to looking at some cool shit. Okay, so let's start with this thing. This particular setup that you see in front of you is from the hatch door in lift number 1. Now, the particular lock securing this affair here is a standard Lockwood rim cylinder. We do have a key here, so for the sake of it, let's put the key in and turn it. Hey presto. Put that away now. So it doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary until you sort of start looking at this stuff here. Now, it's connected into a safety circuit. So if someone had the stupid idea of opening this, you can see some contacts here and here. So once that little circuit is broken, it trips a safety circuit and the lift is automatically stopped. So the brainiac who thought it was a smart idea to climb up in the hoistway would probably have less chance of being killed. On that note, don't go into the hoistway. Death is not the only bad thing that can happen to you. Let's just leave it at that. So this is pretty cool. I've not seen something like this before, so having the chance to check this out is pretty darn cool. That safety circuit I was talking about too, it does a lot of things. I mean, it'll, there's a number of switches, and it will take note of things like cable slackness, whether or not the landing doors are open, whether, there's too much weight in the car, for example, these types of things. So, very necessary safety features, and this is a very, very cool thing, and I'm pretty amazed to be holding something like this in my hands, so damn cool. Anyway, let's move on a little bit and show you something else cool. Okay, so here we have the haul station from the ground floor landing. A couple of buttons, up and down, and a couple of key switches. Fire service, and also there's a water level alarm. Now, with this, you might be aware that underneath the elevator there is a pit, and in particularly rainy weather, the pit might start to fill up with water. And because it's not a normal occurrence for someone to be looking down into the pit, it's helpful to have an alarm of some description to let people know that there's something that needs to be addressed down there. And to reset that alarm, there is a key here. So you can just key in, turn, it springs back, and that alarm is reset. So that's pretty cool. The key is one of these TOK switch keys. This one's a Yale, just in case you're curious about the key blank that's appropriate for this particular lock. Now, if you've been looking at this, you might have noticed something cool. So it's the switch that fireys will use when they're responding to an emergency. So they will rock up, take their key, place it in the lock, and turn it to the on position, and that would set, in today's standards, put the lift into phase 1, which would bring all of the elevators down from wherever they are, and once they returned to the ground floor, all the lift doors would then open, allowing the firemen to enter, and At that point, these lifts are going nowhere until someone with the appropriate key steps in to the lift and uses that to put the lift into phase 2 so they can ride to an appropriate floor. After they've done what they needed to do and the fire is hopefully extinguished, they can return back to the ground floor, place their key in the lock, turn to the off position, and that takes them out of phase 1. You've probably noticed that this is a Medeco lock, which is pretty cool, I think. I've seen a few different locks and lifts, but I've never seen a Medeco. It's a Medeco cam lock. I will show you the back of this setup while we're here. Oh, what else can I tell you about this thing? Let me grab my coffee for a second. Okay, I needed a slurp of coffee. So, back again. As I mentioned before, let me turn that off. With the fireys turn up, key in, switch to on, and we've activated phase 1. Key is removed. Lifts come down from wherever they are, they all stop on the ground floor, lift doors open, and that's where they stay. At least until a fireman steps inside one of these lifts and interacts with another lock. So let me put this one aside for a moment. Let me refocus with this other lock. Okay, so firey stepped inside the lift. And this is switched on, let me just turn it off. And they approach the panel, key in, switch to on position, and at that point, it's going to fight me to get the key out now. And from that moment, the elevator is in phase 2, giving the firefighters complete control over the lift. The lift will no longer respond to any calls from anywhere else. It just enables them to quickly and efficiently get to where they need to be, which is obviously a necessary thing. So while it's in phase 2, it's quite a kind of an interesting mode. To close the doors, you actually have to press in the door close button and hold that button until the door closes all of the way. The moment you take your finger off the button, the door will just open automatically, so it must be closed fully. Similarly, once the firey gets to the floor that they want to be on, usually a couple of floors or so underneath the fire, to open the door, they need to again push the door open button and hold that button open. The moment they take their finger off, that door will automatically close again. It's for these situations where, let's say you've arrived at the floor, you push the door open button, and as the door starts to open, there's smoke or flames. It enables you to quickly remove your finger before the door is fully open, and that door will just close quickly and automatically. So, quite a nice and essential feature. What else do I need to tell you? That's probably all I can think of for the minute. Let me grab another slurp of coffee. Alright, coffee's not working exceptionally well. I think I need food, so I'm going to try and finish this up fairly swiftly if I can. So let's just assume your firefighter has done what they needed to do. They can go back to the ground floor, turn this switch to the off position, taking you out of phase 2. They can then step out of the lift, go outside to this panel, turn that switch off, and that now takes it out of phase 1, at which point all of the elevators are back in normal service and able to be used. Oops, that was a bit out of frame, wasn't it? My apologies. So yeah, once it's turned back to the off position, the elevator is now no longer in fire service mode, and the lift is back in normal operation for residents or whomever else to be able to use the lifts as they were intended to be used. So as of this moment, I'm going to go and stuff some food down my neck because I sorely need it. I'm fading fast, and yeah, I'm not going to get too much else done unless I get some food into me. So what is left for me to say is rock on, and thank you to anyone that watched. But above all, huge thanks to DN Hunziker. This is pretty bloody awesome, mate. You're not getting away with this lightly. We've chatted already, and I've had a few things in mind to send to you just out of just to say thanks, and you rock. So I've taken note of the projects that you're looking at doing, and I think I'll be able to sort some things out for you. So I'll be getting something out to you pretty bloody soon, with any luck. So waha. So alright, I'm waffling on way too much. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Peace and respect to one and all. If you're going to play in elevators, play safely. Be good. And I'll see you another day.
점잖아 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 선어해 내가 되면 완전 미쳐버려